Shalom, Kal Halalim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Wahara Chakurash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of GMS Haruwa, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings to you elect out there, starting with 144,000. So, I got this information here. I was picking, I believe this is chat, if not Grok, about petroleum products, you know, because we live in a time. We had the so-called industrial revolution with the boom of petroleum or oil, right? With the international banking family known as the Rockefellers, and they transformed this world into a petroleum-based prison, pretty much, you know. And what else would you expect from the devil, right? This man is the devil. He's Satan. He's an adversary, and he rules the earth, you know, like a hammer. He just smashes and destroys, right? So these are petroleum-based products today. I'm going to get into it a bit and then go into the harmful effects, right? Because again, why do I say he transformed? Because before him, you know, going back thousands of years, you had different civilizations and empires who utilized various technology. Even the Israelites, we have had different technologies through different times, you know. Just the Urim and Thummim is a representation of that, you know. But various engineering feats. So you can read that in the Book of Kings, the Chronicles of the Kings, right, where they had certain technology. Solomon, okay, just even the Navy to get to America, that was a feat in itself, to get there and back through those perilous waters. That was a great feat. You know, so we had technology, but this man will make you think that we're living in the best time ever. You know, the greatest, the greatest arc of technological advancement, when we're really just killing ourselves. You know, you're subjecting yourself to this petroleum-based system. Okay, when free energy exists. You know, Tesla showed you that, and before Tesla, you had many others. You had this thing called the Baghdad battery that they found. And these are things that they come out with. There's more things obviously that they don't. Yeah, so let's get into this. So obviously transportation fuel, right? Gas, diesel, jet fuel, propane, plastic is a big one. And again, how much waste comes from plastic, man? This man is supposed to tell you about Earth Hour, you know, climate change. He's an environmentalist. Okay, he cares about the environment. Just plastic alone, how much of that is biodegradable? How much of that can the earth break down? There's a fact where they tell you it takes centuries, I believe, for petroleum-based products to be broken down properly. So this place is completely out of fucking order, man. This place is bugged out, you know. Plastic, right? Bags, bottles, packaging, containers, caps, furniture, pipes, flooring, right? The fucking PVC pipes, right? Foam, cups, which that's a poison, right? Insulation. And then this man will have you think that there's only his way to build houses, man. His way of building houses is shit. It's a cardboard box. You're better off with the aluminum box. You know, he makes fun of Jake in the islands and in the Caribbean and Jamaica and Cuba. They have aluminum and tinfoil houses, but that shit's better than what you got here. I can punch the wall and it'll crack. And then I got a bunch of insulation flying around in the air. And first of all, that drywall is killing you. Okay? That drywall is terrible, man. That's why everyone is removing also them popcorn ceilings, man. Them dumbass popcorn ceilings. Right? It says electronics, durable toys, plexiglass, synthetic fibers, what you wear, polyester, nylon, acrylic, spandex, all terrible, man. And I remember when they started really pushing that, and it was cool because it was, you know, oh, it wicks away sweat and it's this and it's that, but it's a poison. You're literally wearing melting plastic when you're sweating, okay, and that goes into your right under your armpits. You got your underwear there, you got your socks, right? These are lymph nodes where the skin is much more permeable, meaning it opens up more. So pretty much all those toxins, all those chemicals from the clothing, it starts to go into your bloodstream. That's where the real health fun begins. All right, clothes, carpets, upholstery, rubber, rubber and elastomers, right? Obviously tires, shoe soles, seals, gaskets, hoses and belts. Okay, now a lot of these things are new in society, so-called, like tires, but a lot of these things we already lived with or without, or we lived with it, like I said, with another material. Like, people don't even know you can use hemp, right? Using hemp, right? You can make houses from hemp. Hemp is strong as hell, but this man doesn't want you to use that, because that's, first of all, hemp is a natural product, okay, meaning it grows, okay. They don't have to fool you into thinking, oh yeah, we need this oil, we need to extract this oil, and then you know, you got to buy our petroleum products. You know, you're making them money, right? And then this devil, remember the Rockefellers, they came up with a plan saying, hey, let's make this let's make the oil seem finite, meaning it's in a limited supply. So let's call it fossil fuels. Right, fossil sounds ancient. It sounds limited. You know, sounds something exotic. But there's oil all across the earth, but it's not meant for you to push out. You know, to use your oil rigs to pump that oil out, and then make your fucking jargon of products, man, that are terrible for us and the planet. And then when we're done with it, the planet can't even degrade it. You can't recycle that shit. I don't care how much recycling ads or information pamphlets they give you. First of all, they already came out showing you that when you put shit in the recycling bin, it doesn't even go into the recycling. They burn it up. And all that smoke is, again, terrible for the environment. So you guys aren't the stewards of the earth. You're the destroyers of the earth. Right? He that destroys the earth. Everyday products, household, right? Detergent and soaps, disgusting. Shampoo, conditioner, right? When you're in your hot shower and your pores are all fucking open, and you're putting that soap in your head, that's going right into your bloodstream, right? Because of cosmetics, lip balm, lotion, makeup, disposable diapers, toothbrushes, food packaging, chemicals and solvents in paints, coatings, varnishes, right? Construction, asphalt, which those guys don't last long. Those guys get lung cancer, man. Have you ever drove by the asphalt when they're doing the asphalt? And that's just you driving by in your car with the windows up. That shit smells like it's red in your car. Okay? Insulation foam, sealants and caulking, plastic piping, wiring, coating, electronic phone casing, computer components, wire insulation, all this shit is plastic, right? Right? Devices from companies like Apple and Samsung rely heavily on petroleum-derived materials, right? So again, this is all money going back to the bankers, because anything petroleum-based is banker-owned. Okay? So these guys made a killing, man. And they're still making a killing. Because again, when they came out with that oil, they switched the engine. Remember, they had a lot of streetcars in major cities in America, and Toronto, actually, by the way. I believe Montreal as well. They were electric, and then they scrapped them. They said, no, we need General Motors. We need to push this petroleum-based economy, this system. So they transformed all of that into these gas-powered cars. Water-powered car? No, we're not doing that. Vegetable oil-powered car? Something else-powered car? No, we're not doing that. We're doing petroleum-based. Okay, so that's why, this is another reason why this fucking devil has to go. Because he's putting a cap, you know, on how people live, on how people enjoy themselves. He's destroying the planet. He's just a fucking piece of shit, out of order devil, man. He's Dennis the fucking Menace, man. Alright, syringes, IV bags, tubing, disposable gloves, many pharmaceutical bases. Hey, all your pharmaceutical drugs, guess what? They're petroleum based. This man is a sorcerer. Alright. It says food related, food preservatives and additives, flavoring carriers, packaging that keeps food fresh, plastic toys, sport equipment, foam padding. See? Petroleum is not just a product, it is a foundation material like wood in an older age or stone in ancient cities. It shapes the world quietly. And it shouldn't. But this man made it that way. right? So here are the problems that you will incur from all these products, man. Lungs and breathing, no surprise. Fumes from fuels, plastic solvents and exhaust can irritate, right? Giving ways to asthma, chronic bronchitis, reduce lung function over time. Fine particles and volatile organic compounds are the usual culprits. Brain and nervous system. Certain petroleum solvents can affect the nervous system, headaches, dizziness, brain fog, poor concentration and memory. With heavy, long exposure, nerve damage. That's fucking crazy. All right, so that means it's a neurotoxin. It's quickly eating away at your nervous system. Cancer risk, of course. I shouldn't even read this because everybody should know that, but nobody, pays attention to it. Hormone and internal balance. Some plastic-related compounds can act as endocrine disruptors, BPA, which are these plastic bottles everyone's been drinking for decades now. All right, plastic bottles weren't a thing. And even before plastic bottles, you want to talk about like pop cans. There was no such thing as a pop can. Right? Even though can is aluminum. But actually inside the pop can you got plastic. That's why the can you can squeeze it and it won't crush because there's plastic under. There's a lining of plastic. But the point still stands. Even before these plastic bottles, your Coke cans, your Sprite cans, your 7-Ups, they came in glass. Esau used to do glass. Then this man tricked you people into accepting plastic everywhere. Now glass is a fucking luxury. There might be a deposit fee for the glass. It just might cost more. It might be a higher end product. But this man used to have a Coca-Cola can or a bottle in glass, not plastic or aluminum. It used to be a glass Coca-Cola bottle. Even the pop cans, man. The sodas, the sodas, orange, whatever, right? This man tricked you into buying from him. At the same time, he's tricking you, getting money from you, right? Switch your whole system. He's poisoning you. It's a 2-for-1 for him. He's poisoning you. He's practicing sorcery on you. This man's an evil genius. What can you say? Skin and contact effects. Direct contact with oils, fuels, or certain plastics can cause irritation and dermatitis. Chemical burns, heart and overall inflammation, right? Which is we're already bombarded with inflammation, right? Air pollution tied to petroleum combustion is associated with higher risk of heart disease, increased systemic inflammation, greater chance of stroke over time. And RT News, Russia Today, back in like 20, maybe 14, 15, over 10 years ago, they came out with an article. I'll never forget it. City pollution, right? From smog, from cars, petroleum industry, factories, regular city pollution is a causing factor of type 1 diabetes. And type 1 diabetes is the worst kind of diabetes. That means your body, it doesn't create insulin anymore. Your pancreas doesn't create insulin. Your pancreas gave up. So now you have to actually buy insulin from Esau, or else you will die, because your body can't even utilize or absorb any glucose, right? This man is a fucking devil, man. The fucking devil, man. Fucking tired of this piece of shit. Increased systemic inflammation. You get inflammation from walking out your front door. You're probably getting inflammation from inside, from the radiation, from the 5G, from your Wi-Fi router. From your drywall, like I was saying, your insulation. Okay, you open the window for some fresh air. You get a nice dose of chemtrails. Okay, some petroleum pollution. Right, greater chance of stroke over time. And this man, of course, AI, the petroleum-based also system, petroleum, plastic. Petroleum itself is not the enemy. Dose and exposure are. No, petroleum is the enemy. You fucking robot. Anyway, as you see here, petroleum-based products are derived from crude oil and natural gas, fueling over 6,000 everyday items, ranging from fuels and plastics to clothing, medicine, and cosmetics. This is insane. This is what this man did. He tricked everybody into buying all his shit. Vaseline, you people love your fucking Vaseline. That's petroleum. That's fucking petroleum jelly. Okay? So he tricked you into believing his way. His system is the best. And hence, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And also Revelation 20, he goeth into the four corners of the earth to deceive everybody, right? So this is Sirach 39. Let's see, 39 and 16. All right, in the Apocrypha, it says, all the works of the Lord are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. And none may say, what is this? Wherefore is that? That's what Esau says. Oh, we don't need this part of the earth. We don't need this forest system here, this ecosystem. Oh, this is going to cause carnage and destruction. Oh, we don't. It's okay. We'll plant some trees later. You know, the Lord, the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, they created everything for everything is created for a purpose. Like in the Matrix, it is purpose, Mr. Anderson, that drives us, right? Purpose is why we're here. So everything has a purpose. Nothing is here by, oh, that's a glitch, that's by accident. Oh, I kind of put that there. I was going to work on it. I forgot about it. I'll come back to it later. No. Everything was made with intricacy, with meticulous detail. Right? Very detailed works for purposes. That's why this devil will tell you, I'm talking about this medical system. Oh, a spleen? You don't need a spleen. Right? You don't need your spleen. That's what this man will tell you. You know, you can take it out. And he has no idea how important your spleen is for your immune system and your digestive system. He'll say, okay, you got gallstones. You know, you got your gallbladder issue. You got to take out your gallbladder. This man will remove your whole gallbladder when the gallbladder's job is so important for the bile to produce this liquid, yellow liquid called bile, which is used to emulsify and digest your fat in your body. But this man will tell you, no, we'll remove your gallbladder, and then I don't know what he gives you, some drugs for whatever purpose for the rest of your life. So no, you can't say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For at time convenient they shall all be sought out. At his commandment the water stood as an heap, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of waters. At his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him, and none can hinder when he will save. The works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes. He seeth, right now I'm in nature, right? There's a beautiful river with a stream, right? Birds are out, the sun is out. I'm looking at everything, and this is a system. There's nothing random here. There's nothing random here. You know, you got your bugs on the floor, different insects crawling, birds. You got your ducks, your geese. Right? The geese are together because they're the same kind. All right? The ducks ain't swimming up to the geese, and the birds ain't coming up, and vice versa. Everything is in order, man. The stream is moving along. Right? But this man will come and build a dam. He'll build a dam to try to stop the current of water for his purpose or whatever he's trying to do. He'll try to stop nature. You know? It says, verse 20, he seeth from everlasting to everlasting, and there is nothing wonderful before him. A man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. Right? And when you remove the oil from the earth, that causes lubrication issues. Tectonic plates start grinding. Things start messing up in the earth. The oil, first of all, the scriptures mention the oil in the book of Job. Under the earth is fire. I believe so. Hold on. No, that's not it. Yeah, I was thinking of just the fire, which is there is fire, obviously, you know. But I was thinking of something else. But anyway, the oil, when you look up the oil, the purposes of the oil is to stay in the earth, man. It's not for you to extract that shit. To have these different oil rigs. They got oil rigs on land. They got oil rigs on the ocean by the water. When they have these giant fucking monumental oil spills in the ocean, oh, it was an accident. You know, let's just forget about it. You know, I'll never forget that one in Florida years ago, over 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, where they had how much oil spill into the ocean. How much damage does that bring to the earth, man? Fucking wicked, right? Verse 21, a man need not to say, what is this, wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. His blessing covered the dry land as a river, and watered it as a flood. As he hath turned the waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. Starting with you Edomites. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Things are supposed to move in harmony. That's why right now we're going in reverse. We're grinding gears. We're literally making that nail against the chalkboard noise because Esau's ruling. So for him, things are not easy. Things are stumbling blocks. This isn't working, that isn't working. I'm just gonna fucking destroy everything. But for the Israelites, the stewards of the earth, we have an order, we have a harmony with the planet. That's why, you know, tribes like Gad, Reuben, you know, Esau makes fun of them. Oh, you guys are tree huggers. You guys talking about the earth, and this, because they were stewards of the earth. They knew that there was a land Sabbath. You had to leave the earth alone. You had to do certain things. You can't piss in this river because this river is clean. Hey, you Edomites, don't you got... I actually am by a river now, and this devil has his aluminum tin can sign saying, no fishing. This is a fishing conservatory area. Don't you devils even understand that little bit? But then you'll destroy entire ecosystems. So you know what you're doing, man. You know what the fuck you're doing. You're being the devil, and that's good. It says, for the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things, right? Principle means what? The first. Principle means the first, right? The primary. So the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. And we always go into this. These are the first things Esau already adulterated. He adulterated water. Water's destroyed. We got a bunch of GMO water. You know, you got this fluoride, chlorinated water with antibiotics in there, all kinds of filth. You know, this acidic water, nasty ass water. Then you got the water full of microplastics. Okay, let's see the salt. You defiled the salt. The salt, you extracted just sodium, but when there's other minerals there. Sea salt has potassium, calcium, all kinds of different minerals, not just sodium. Salt is not like past the salt and it's just supposed to be sodium. Salt is, yo man, salt is what people used to get paid with. That's where you get the word salary from in Roman times, right? Salary comes from salt. You would get paid in salt. With salt, you can preserve meat for months, for many months. You can cure meat. Obviously, seasoning is just one little aspect. Salt is actually medicinal, right? That's why when you have a toothache, what do they tell you? 11:11. That's why they tell you when you have a toothache and it's really hurting. And I've had that. I've had an abscess tooth, and all you do is you swish like your life depended on it with warm water and sea salt. And after about 5 to 10 minutes, your pain is gone because it disinfected and killed it. Simple. Okay, salt, you adulterated. Flour of wheat, you adulterated it. You chopped that up. You made it refined. Refined salt, refined wheat. Wheat is supposed to be whole wheat. You have spelt flour. Okay, you have all kinds of different flours, not just from refined. Right? When you refine your shit, you're just stripping away all the minerals, all the things that you need, and you're just left with sugar, glucose. That's why the white flour based pastas and breads and all this is just madness. It's just madness. When the scriptures talk about bread, it's not talking about Wonder Bread. Okay? It's not talking about these buns with the sesame seeds on them and the, you know, no, it's not talking about that. Okay? It's talking about stone ground, stone milled, whole wheat, or organic. We can use that word because, again, there's no pesticides and anything like that. Wheat, right? Honey, you adulterated. Why? Because you pasteurize it. You pasteurize honey. You weaken the honey. You fuck it up. Are you fucked up, E? Milk, adulterated. And the blood of the grape, you adulterated. You made seedless grapes. And then if it's seeded, there's still pesticides on it. You spray pesticides. Oil, you adulterated, right? And again, oil for the use of man. But actually, you know, also oil, what we're talking about. You're not supposed to extract that. So for the good or goodly things, we kept the oil in the ground. For you, as the scripture said, it turned, for the wicked, it's a stumbling block. And what did it say? so evil things for sinners. It became an evil to you. So now you got to deal with the air. You got to deal with this pollution. All right. But again, the oil is going into the actual oil, olive oil. And guess what? You adulterated it. You created soybean oil, vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, all this madness. You're not supposed to be using these things. We use olive oil, coconut oil, natural oils, man. Avocado oil, right? This man will make you vegetable oil. When you look up the damages of that, you know, on sale, big 4-liter jug in plastic, microplastic vegetable oil. Fucking through, man. You know? And clothing, you adulterated that. You chopped it up. We just read it. Polyester, nylon, acrylic. Madness, man. We got cotton, we have wool, we have linen. And this man here's some plastic. Okay? Wear some athletic plastic in smeltering heat in the sun. A black smeltering plastic shirt so it can melt into your pores, man. This fucking devil with some plastic underwear. Oh my goodness. Right, verse 27. All these things are good for the godly, so to the sinner they are turned into evil. Can't make it up, man. Anyway, hope you're edified with that. Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Shalom.